reading again?
I have,
Yeah.
I'm halfway through it.
What do you read?
A book. It's a bloke called David Mishi.
Okay.
This is actually like a bit of the mindfulness stuff. So I've read 3 or 4 of his, slightly repetitive, his stuff, but this is the 4th one, and he introduces a lot of topics and doesn't dive too deep into them. It's more of I'm showing you something, you go and do your own discovery on it. So this one's about mindfulness, and I think it's more of a starting point for a lot of people with their meditation journey, which is something that I've dived into quite a lot in the last couple of years. It's not like a eye-opening thing for me, but it's just nice to get someone else's perspective on what it does and why you do it and things like that. So I think it's always good to just relearn the benefits of things like that.
Do you find that helps you just kind of relax the meditating?
Yeah, I do it as much as I can. I do it in the morning, and I got a bit of a journal that I jot things down in, and so it's mindfulness and gratitude, I think, are 2 massive things that people ignore or choose not to do. So it's something, part of my day is, try and do something for someone else that you're not expecting something back for.
Yeah, that's
something
the key.
small, something completely small. Opening the door for someone, pay for someone's coffee, with your mate, and just don't say you get the next one or something like that. And then, so football games, I meditate before when I wake up. And then now I've got it in my routine. Now that I know, especially at home games, I know that the coach's room is going to be empty 5 minutes before you start the warm-up.
Yep.
So I go up there by myself. And no one's caught on to that yet, actually. So it's nice because the coach's room is nice and quiet, and it's upstairs away from a lot of the noise. And I just go there and just unwind. And it's not visualization, but I'm manifesting on nothing. It's literally just my heart rate's always up.
Yeah, okay.
And it just relaxes me before the game. And then it's interesting because I can imagine I come down and I start warming up and I play, and no one would know that I've just sat
100%
for 5 minutes because I'm allowed when I'm at football. But
full of energy.
Yeah, well, I could easily go and this week I could easily just shut up and not say a word. I think I'm still finding that balance of what the team wants. I think I took it too far rounds 1 and 2, to be honest, where, especially like round 2, I think on field I was a bit chirpier, and I took that too far, and I don't think our team likes that much. So I had a bit of a focus point last week. I still chirped a couple of people that were pissing me off throughout the game, and I said some good ones, but no, it wasn't like a 4-quarter thing. It was more just here and there. If someone's running past me, I'll whisper something in their ear. So, but that's something that I'm trying to get used to, because when I was at St Kilda, me and my best mate would do it, and it would fire both of us up. And he would chirp someone, and someone would go at him, and I'd come in, and it would just, it was hilarious. B, it helped us play really well together.
Okay.
And it kind of like always kept us in the zone. Whereas I think a lot of the boys at Eastern Mantle don't want that. They just want to go about their footy. So that's like a learning curve for me, because I've just come from 2 years of me and my mate just talking crap for 4 quarters, as much as we talk to the other teammates. But if we see an opportunity to get into someone, we would.
Yeah.
And then we'd have each other's backs with it. And I don't think Eastern Mantle is as chirpy as other teams I've played for. So I am trying to adapt to that, because I don't want to make people on the field feel uncomfortable because I'm just sitting there ripping on blokes for 4 quarters. I am quite mindful of how it impacts others, instead of just me saying something funny and laughing about it later on. Right. Like after the game, I'm actually trying to be like, oh, okay, that's not what this team needs. And I need a little bit of it. So that's where I'll get an opportunity to do it.
That's interesting.
Every now and then, yeah.
So that meditating, that brings that anxiety down before a game.
It's not really anxiety. It's like I don't get anxious before waffle games, really. Yeah. It's more just, it's just relaxing. And I always find that when I go into it, my heart rate's really up, because I'm still figuring out that where I should be in terms of boisterous levels for this team, for waffle, for Eastern Mantle. And so I think that's something that just, instead of just going too far, I can just reset a little bit, come down with a clear head and assess more of a situation, instead of just going, oh, it's football. At St Kilda, I was supposed, like, I could be a bit more revved up and the boys would respond to that a bit more. I don't think that's the same at East Fremantle, and that's not a bad thing. I don't think either of them have any impact on success. I think you could be a quiet team and win premierships, and you could be Hawthorn were pretty bad at it when they were up and about. They were just arrogant and loud, and that's fine. I think it's just having two different teams, and especially for me, I've played for a lot of different teams in a short amount of time. It's hard to understand what everyone needs in that team and where you fit in it.
So, do you ever do any of that? Like, do you control your breathing at all during the game as well? Like, try to get your heart rate back down so you can recover quicker at all?
No. So my thing during a game, and this is something we developed at St Kilda, is everyone's got a trigger.
Yep.
So it's something that you do that gets you off what you say. For me, I get extremely annoyed when I've missed a set shot or I've dropped a mark or things like that I should do for the team and I have failed it. And my triggers, I'll just clap really loud, really hard. So there's a little bit of pain in my hands, but it gets me straight on to the next thing. So I do it. Okay. I do it quite frequently when something doesn't go my way, or even if I'm just annoyed in the game, I'll just clap my hands together, and that's something that for me it just goes like, right, on to the next one. St Kilda developed something that we were supposed to know everyone's triggers in a forward line. So I one of them was touching the bloke's neck, another one was grabbing grass and rub it between his hands, another one was just his shoulders back and smile. And we were supposed to know everyone's, because then if I identified that you were having a bad moment or a bad game, I just tell you your trigger, and then you would do it, and then we'd move on together.
Oh, so you would tell them, and then they would do it. And
I would tell them to do their trigger.
Yeah, you do their trigger, and then they'd do that.
It's time for you to move on from that drop mark or that missed set shot.
Wow!
It's a way for us to be accountable for other people's performances, not just our own.
Did you feel that helped?
100%. It was great, and I felt like it helped when I'll say it again. My best mate and I played, because I would always listen to what he had to say, and he would always listen to what I had to say. And I was more in tune with him because I didn't play a whole lot with the other AFL boys. I didn't have that real connection of I can understand when you're playing poorly. Mm-hmm. So myself and Nick Hind, we were really good at knowing when the other one was a bit frustrated or having a down game. So we'd be able to do it very well. And the other boys in the AFL could do it together, like Tim Membry and Jack Loney were really good mates. They could spot it with each other as well. So it was, as much as I knew everyone's, it was just make sure, especially the people that you can impact, make sure you get to them. So I think it was brilliant.
That's awesome. Who brought that in? Was that a psych thing?
Richmond brought it in.
Oh, and then
I don't know how it got to St Kilda, but Dan Butler got to St Kilda and he clarified it and told us how it worked at Richmond, but he didn't I don't think he brought it in. He didn't come in and say, this is what we should do. We just had a sports psych named Ben Robbins, who I'm pretty sure wanted to implement it. And it was not a bad thing. It was good.
Yeah, that sounds awesome.
Yeah, and that's just another level of getting to know not only how people play, but how they respond to things and their personality type. So it's hard. It's hard at waffle level because you don't spend nearly as much time as you do at AFL level, and you don't have the time to dive into these topics. You get there, you train, you do your weights, you try and get the boys home because there's so much you don't want to have so mmany contact hours at the club. It's semi-professional. So it is something that it would be very hard to do at waffle level, but certainly at AFL level.
How did you